Hi, I'm Sanjan. I'm a student of Fiji. I started out in 6th. So I was initially in the 4-year classroom program before I shifted to the 2-year medical integrated. I scored 715 in Neet exam and secured a rank of 232. So yeah, my interest in medicine, it wasn't something new. It's something I had since an early age. My father was an inspiration. Growing with him, I got an idea I wanted to do medicine, I would do well in it. So when I reached my 10th grade, well, when you reach 10th, you have two choices. You can get into engineering, you can get into medicine. I had no issues deciding. I got into medicine. So yeah, many people think, should we do engineering, should we do medicine, which career path you should take? See, the first thing we need to understand is it's a whole wide world out there. You have many career options. It's not just limited to JEE medicine. So just one thing, don't take any pressure from any side. Make sure it's a decision which you have made all by yourself. Do something you really want to do. That's what will ensure you have a successful career. So yeah, like I said earlier, I picked up medicine and then we started attending classes. So day one began with, we got an idea of how the NEET exam is, what is the thing. And then the class started, we started to learn the things from the NCERT, and I was convinced I made the right decision. I enjoyed those classes. So yeah, the system, as soon as we were done learning, it didn't stop there. We were given tests regularly. The system was already in place. And of course, there were packages for practice. There were a lot of questions. They had 3 levels actually. And we got all the practice we required. We had different difficulty levels too. We had tabs as well in case we completed our packages. So there really never was any trouble of us running out of practice. And of course, last but not the least, the faculty were always on our side. They were approachable. It was all the support we needed. We never had any issues as far as doubt clearing was concerned. So that's how 11th proceeded. So in 11th, you have some issues like getting into the system, like you have trouble internalizing. Some people do have that kind of issue. When you reach 12th, it technically disappears. You will actually find 12th is a much smoother ride compared to 11th. Most people feel that way. However, in 12th, you also get a niggling doubt, an issue, or rather a fear. Do we have enough time left? So yeah, myself experienced that fear. I never really thought much about time in 11th. After all, you have 2 years to prepare for NEET. I never really bothered about time. But at one point, I guess around June or July when I was in 12th grade, I was thinking, do I have enough time? Did I waste time in 11th? So yeah, it's a phase I think probably everyone will experience. You really don't need to take it seriously. It will pass over. The main thing to follow is just keep putting in hard work. The NEET exam, it's not an exam which is of talent. It's rather of how much hard work you invest. So stick to the system, just keep putting regular, consistent hard work in, and yeah, it will definitely yield results in the end. It doesn't matter if your performance or your motivation is consistent throughout. Let your hard work be consistent. You will get there in the end. In Fiji, well, the first thing we got in Fiji was it cleared all our misconceptions regarding NEET. We got the real picture as to what the NEET exam actually was. Like, you always have a lot of misconceptions. There are some rumors which spread around as to what NEET exam is actually. And unless you get involved, you don't get what the clear picture of what is required actually is. Like, for example, the basic rule is that the NEET exam is pretty much just the NCERT. You get the NCERT thorough and yeah, you're good to go. So yes, this is what I got in Fiji. I got a sense of confidence, and one thing I especially like to thank Fiji for is I got speed. I see there is a misconception that the NEET exam is time bound. You will struggle to complete the paper. People say it's 180 questions, 180 minutes. So it's like one question per minute. That scares many people. They think that's the case. You'll have time issues. Well, that is something I think most of us didn't bother about after a point. Time is not an issue in NEET provided you invest enough practice in it. And if you practice enough, you might actually find you'll have a lot of time in your hands to actually check the paper. So yeah, I could do the paper really fast. I owe Fiji a lot in that regard. That is it. And of course, your preparation, test writing is very important. Another point I'd like to mention. Most people write tests, a lot of people write tests, but few people actually do a test analysis after a test. If you do a test, you don't analyze it later, it's pretty much as good as not doing the test at all. So do a test, analyze it, find out wherever you've gone wrong, what kind of mistakes you made, and of course clear those doubts. that mistake you make, you never know, it might actually become a question in NEET exam, and if you don't clear it, you're in trouble. So that's the thing. Now, the final months towards the NEET exam, see, you should basically optimize your preparation strategy. Reading thoroughly, you should keep it for the beginning. Towards the end, reading the books over and over again, it's not advisable. It's also practically not possible. What you should do is maximize test writing towards the end. Rather than reading the NCERT over and over, you should write more and more tests. If you can write a test daily towards the end, that's excellent. If you can even make it 2 tests per day, it's great. So yeah, Fiji kept us covered in this regard. Towards the end, we had tests nearly daily, and of course, we were given all the practice we needed towards the end. So yeah, the final test series towards the end, they made us see the NEET exam just as another test we were going to write. It wasn't any special exam. We were writing, like in the last month, we were writing tests daily, let's say some 30 tests. The NEET exam was finally just a 31st test we had to write. It wasn't anything really. So Glorifier, well, it was an app in our tab which was introduced somewhere midway in the beginning of 12th, I'd say, and that was really a game changer. It opened the whole wide world to NEET students. We did NEET related stuff initially, but actually with Glorifier it made it possible to even do JEE main level things. So it extended our practice a lot, and we also had tests on Glorifier apart from the usual assignments. Those tests, well, we could compare our scores with the other people who wrote it actually. You have an idea of your position. We even had a makeshift rank list. So it gave us an idea how well you have performed relative to the others, where you can improve. And of course, Glorifier is also a resource in the sense it had old papers. It was an archive of the old papers. So yeah, it was a really useful tool in our preparation. So Glorifier, basically it was an app in our tab that was introduced somewhere halfway through our preparation, beginning of 12th I would say. So it was something of a game changer. It gave us a new way to approach tests. So Glorifier, it had tests where we had something of a makeshift ranking system. When you write a test, you get an idea of who the other top performers are, what scores the others have got, and where you stand. We have a table with the ranks. So yeah, and also Glorifier had a higher quality of questions. It was slightly better than the average level which we were used to. So it gave us a small edge in the exams we were to write. It was a really useful tool. To ensure we never ran out of motivation, the toppers, they gave us motivational speeches. Seniors from last year who performed well, they shared their experiences with us, what their preparation was like, how they felt during the exam, what was their experience after they got the rank they wanted. So yeah, we learned a lot from that. We were inspired, and apart from that, the mishaps, the small brick walls they ran to, they were also a learning lesson from us. We could learn from small failures they experienced, how to avoid them ourselves. Even the faculty, they always had the time to share experiences. Students they came across, they told us about students whose, their complacency had cost them in the long run, and how people who started out small but with their effort, their tireless effort came out in flying colors in the end. So yeah, we never had any issues as far as motivation was concerned at Fiji. Whether it be the toppers or the teachers, they always had time to have a word with us, interact with us, get to keep our spirits up. Now distractions, they're a part of basically any job you do, and they're something you especially should avoid if you have NEET in your mind. Distractions, they arise from pretty much any area. They could be your gadgets, even your younger siblings if you have them, your friends. Anything can become a distraction at any point. It's important to tune out distractions. There's a difference between having fun and distractions. You should basically keep having fun and your preparation as far as NEET is concerned, two separate things. They shouldn't mix up with each other. So distractions, again, gadgets I'd say are the main source of distraction, and they are something you should avoid with NEET in mind. In this regard, all my thanks goes to my parents who made sure I never left the track. My mother, she always made sure I never got distracted. She kept me focused, she kept me motivated, and I have a lot to thank her in that regard. To you students, even if you don't have someone to keep you motivated, remember there's something called self-discipline. If If you want to do well in NEET, for that matter, if you want to do well in life, you need to have self-discipline. There won't always be someone to keep you honest, to stay behind your back to get you to do stuff. You need to have that desire, that focus, that drive yourself. That is what you really need to succeed. Advice from my side, see, there's one advice I'd specifically like to give. Don't lose your motivation at any point, or rather, don't give up on your hard work at any point. Point is, you can't remain motivated for 2 years continuously. Everyone has their ups and downs. Some people will find phases where they have no motivation at all and their results aren't what they expect either. You will have a low period where your motivation isn't up, your scores aren't up, and you'll be facing pressure from all sides. The important thing is, even in such periods, you're supposed to work. You will find it easy to work when you're motivated, but it's all the more difficult when you're not. But the point is, you're supposed to work even when you're not motivated. So yeah, this is what will get you through in the end. So your NEET is an exam where you have to invest a lot of intense and often dry hard work. And yeah, you will not get your reward instantly. You're preparing for 2 years and you're going to get your reward finally at the end of that period. So you don't get any instant gratification, but keep pushing on. Nevertheless, you will get there in the end. That reward is going to come at some point. So, and another thing, you see, pressure is basically something you shouldn't have. You may, I don't know, you might have it initially, but at least make sure it isn't there during the final days of your preparation, and definitely not on the day of the NEET exam. So the point is, keep cool, don't let pressure get to you, and you'll make it. If you're gonna have any pressure, keep it for after the exam, not during the exam. That is the main advice I'd like to give you from my side. And last but not least, I have to thank all the teachers, the faculty who basically they are the reason why we have come so far, why we've got all these marks. And of course the non-teaching faculty as well. They have gone a lot out. They've gone out of their way to help us. They have done a lot. They are the reason why they kept us from getting complacent. When we did well, actually, they made sure we never, lost our motivation. They told us to try to improve even after that. So we have a lot to thank. And last but not least, all the best to you medical aspirants. Keep working hard, keep believing in yourself, and you'll get there.